music in the United States, over 50 million adults struggle with sleep, and for seniors over 60, it gets worse. Your melatonin drops, your cortisol rises, and even if you fall asleep, you're waking up at 200 a.m. staring at the ceiling. So, we try everything. Over-the-counter pills, melatonin, nightcap drinks, but most of it doesn't work, or worse, it backfires. That's why today, I'm sitting down with a man who sleeps like a rock at 101 years old. Dr. Howard Tucker has been practicing medicine for over 75 years. He still drives, still walks, still reads, and yes, still gets deep, uninterrupted sleep every single night. And when I asked him how, he didn't talk about supplements. He talked about food. 7 foods, real whole foods you can buy at any grocery store in America, and eat in ways that help your brain, your gut, and your sleep. So if you live in the US, you're over 60, and you're tired of being tired, this is for you. Ladies and gentlemen, some applause for Dr. Howard Tucker. If I've learned anything in 75 years of medicine, it's this. You can't sleep well if your body is inflamed, your blood sugar is unstable, or your gut is stressed. And in America, all 3 are happening every day because of what we eat. But here's the good news. Food can also fix it. These are the 7 foods I've used personally and professionally to help people over 60 sleep through the night, deeply and naturally. And I'll tell you exactly how to prepare them so they actually work. Let's start with tart cherries. These are one of the only whole foods that naturally contain melatonin, the hormone responsible for telling your body it's time to sleep. But what most people don't realize is this. It's not just about having more melatonin. It's about when your body receives it and what else is happening in your system at the time. As we age, melatonin production declines, especially in the pineal gland, which sets your internal clock. And in America, with constant artificial lighting, late-night screens, and late-night meals, that clock gets confused. That's where tart cherries come in. They contain just enough natural melatonin to help signal the body gently that it's time to start winding down. But timing is everything. Eat them too late and they might not be fully metabolized before bed. Pair them with sugar and you spike insulin, which disrupts the melatonin response entirely. And most store-bought dried cherries are packed with added sugar, sulfur preservatives, or blended with other fruits, making them more dessert than remedy. What you want is the original version, sour Montmorency cherries, either frozen or as pure, unsweetened juice. Here's how I take it. 4 to 6 Oz of pure tart cherry juice in the early evening around 6 p.m., or 1-2 cup of thaw-frozen cherries as dessert after dinner. Don't mix with heavy meals. Don't add sugar. Keep it clean. This small dose helps the body begin its wind down phase without knocking you out. Then, the second food in my list is salmon. Salmon isn't just a protein, it's a neurological support system. It's loaded with omega-3 fatty acids like EPA and DHA, which help reduce inflammation in the brain and improve the function of neurotransmitters involved in sleep. It's also one of the best food sources of vitamin D, which plays a critical role in regulating serotonin, a precursor to melatonin. Here's the mistake most people make. They eat salmon at night. That's too late. Your body needs time to metabolize the omega-3s and convert them into brain chemicals that help you feel calm and clear by evening. Salmon also helps stabilize mood, which is important because anxious, erratic thoughts are often the first thing to show up when sleep is broken. And it supports the circadian rhythm by promoting hormone balance, especially in older adults where stress hormones tend to dominate. Here's how I take it. Eat 3 to 4 Oz of wild-caught salmon lunch twice a week. Bake it with lemon, garlic, herbs. Never fry it. Never cover it in heavy sauces. Serve it with roasted vegetables, leafy greens, or fermented foods like sauerkraut for better absorption. Your brain needs nutrients during the day to prepare for sleep at night. This is one of the most powerful ways to do that. Then it is time to discuss a breakfast food, oats. Oats are underrated, especially for sleep. Most people think of them as a breakfast food, but for people who struggle with nighttime wake-ups, oats can be a perfect light dinner. Why? They're rich in complex carbs, magnesium, and B vitamins, particularly B6, which helps convert tryptophan into serotonin. They help balance blood sugar without spiking insulin. And they support the gut microbiome, which directly impacts melatonin production. In the evening, you want food that's warm, soft, and easy to digest. Oats tick all three boxes. Plus, the act of eating something comforting and spoon-fed helps cue the nervous system that the day is slowing down. Here's how I take it. I cook half a cup of rolled oats in water or unsweetened almond milk. Add cinnamon, crushed walnuts, and a small spoon of plain yogurt. If I need a little sweetness, I use raw honey, but never more than a teaspoon. I eat this around 6:30 or 700 p.m. when digestion is still active, but slow. It's grounding, reliable, and deeply restorative. I think we have covered 3 foods so far. Let's continue to food number 4, pumpkin seeds. These little seeds are one of the most sleep-up supportive snacks out there. They contain tryptophan, magnesium, and zinc, the 3 nutrients that help your body build melatonin naturally. Tryptophan boosts serotonin. Magnesium calms the nervous system. Zinc supports hormone balance. Together, they form the foundation for better rest. Many seniors are magnesium deficient and don't even know it. That leads to cramps, restless legs, and light broken sleep. Pumpkin seeds are one of the simplest ways to start correcting that, but only if they're prepared right. Here's how I take it. I toast 2 tablespoons of raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds in a dry skillet, just until warm and fragrant. Eat them plain, or toss them over a small salad with olive oil and lemon. You can also add them to your evening oats. I eat them at least 1 to 2 hours before bed to avoid digestive issues. It's not just about what's in them, it's about when your body has time to use it. Actually, I'm getting hungry right now thinking of the next food in my list, which is my favorite, banana with peanut butter. This is a combination I've recommended for years, not because it's trending, but because it works. When I see patients waking up consistently between 2 and 4 a.m., I look at one thing first: blood sugar. If your glucose drops too low overnight, your body sees that as a threat. It responds by releasing cortisol and adrenaline, stress hormones, to wake you up. That's why people often wake up feeling wired but tired or hungry and anxious in the middle of the night. This is especially common in older adults whose blood sugar regulation isn't as tight as it once was. Bananas and peanut butter in the right amounts can prevent that drop. The banana provides fast-acting carbohydrates which gently raise blood sugar in the early part of the night. Meanwhile, peanut butter offers fat and a little protein to slow that release, creating a stable, gentle curve instead of a crash. Together, they work like a sleep-time buffer, especially for people with light sleep or cortisol sensitivity. The potassium and magnesium in bananas also help relax your muscles, regulate heart rhythm, and calm the nervous system. But that only works in small doses. Too much banana, especially a full one, gives you more sugar than your system needs at night. That can backfire. The peanut butter is just as important, but you have to choose it carefully. Most commercial brands add sugar, palm oil, or stabilizers, which inflame the gut and defeat the goodness. Look for peanut butter with 2 ingredients: peanuts and salt. That's it. Here's how I take it. Half a banana sliced with 1 tablespoon of natural peanut butter. No added sugar, no vegetable oils, just peanuts and salt. Eat it around 8 p.m. Not right before bed, but as your last light snack. It's simple, satisfying, and can stop the cortisol spike that wakes people up before dawn. Now, there are still 2 foods left in my list. Please stay put because the last food is going to surprise you. Let's first cover turmeric with black pepper. Turmeric isn't just a spice. It's one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods on earth. And inflammation is one of the most overlooked causes of poor sleep. It shows up in your joints as stiffness, in your gut as bloating or gas, and in your brain as racing thoughts, night sweats, or that vague wired feeling when you're tired but can't relax, chronic. Inflammation interferes with hormone production, including melatonin, serotonin, and cortisol, making it harder to fall asleep and even harder to stay there. Turmeric helps calm that process. Its active compound, curcumin, reduces inflammatory signaling and supports cellular repair while you rest. But here's the key. Curcumin is hard to absorb on its own. That's why it must be paired with black pepper, which contains piperine, a compound that increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Without it, turmeric just passes through the body with little benefit. This isn't a quick fix. It's not like taking a sleeping pill. Turmeric is most effective when taken regularly, even daily, to keep inflammation low and sleep cycles smooth. Here's how I take it. I heat 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk until warm, not boiling. Stir in 1–2 teaspoons of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a little raw honey. Sometimes I add cinnamon or nutmeg, depending on the season. This golden milk blend isn't just relaxing. It gently warms the gut and supports sleep without sedating the mind. I drink it slowly about an hour before bed. It's calming, nourishing, and supports joint and gut repair while I sleep. And when I do this regularly, not just once in a while, I wake up with less stiffness, more clarity, and better recovery overnight. Now it is time for the last food. Ginger or herbal bitters before dinner. Most people think sleep starts at bedtime, but in my experience, it starts with digestion. If your evening meal sits too long in the stomach, or if your gut is underactive, you're more likely to wake up in the middle of the night uncomfortable, bloated, or just off. Poor digestion at dinner creates a ripple effect. Gas presses on the diaphragm. Reflux triggers a cortisol spike. Undigested proteins ferment in the gut, disrupting neurotransmitter production. And that's before you even hit the pillow. That's why I recommend stimulating digestion before your evening meal. Not with medications, but with old-world solutions that work. Herbal bitters and ginger. Bitters are made from natural herbs like dandelion, gentian root, and fennel. They signal the stomach to produce acid and enzymes so your food gets broken down properly. Ginger works similarly, but with added anti-inflammatory and pro-circulatory effects over time. This simple pre-meal ritual supports better nutrient absorption, reduced bloating, and less nighttime disruption, all of which are essential for uninterrupted restorative sleep. Here's how I take it. 10 to 15 minutes before dinner, I drink a cup of strong ginger tea or take 1 teaspoon of liquid herbal bitters in a small glass of water. You can make ginger tea at home by simmering 6 to 8 slices of fresh ginger root in water for 10 minutes. Or if you prefer convenience, buy a trusted bitter tincture from a health food store. Look for alcohol-free options if your sleep is especially sensitive. This isn't about sedation, it's about preparation. The more your digestion works before bed, the less your body has to fix during sleep. And that means deeper rest, fewer wake-ups, and a stronger gut-brain connection long-term. Thank you, Dr. Tucker, for this amazing list of rich foods. You know what surprised me the most? The oats. I've always thought of them as a breakfast food. Never once considered they might help someone sleep better, especially at night. And the way you explained it, it's not just about nutrients. It's about timing, about rhythm, about giving the body signals it can actually understand. And it makes me wonder how many of us are accidentally sending the wrong signals every single night. A big dinner, a bright screen, a heavy dessert, and then we wonder why our brain won't slow down. What if the body isn't broken? It's just confused. That's what I'm taking from this. Small things matter. The right foods at the right time can shape the night ahead and maybe the years ahead too. So here's my question to all of you people listening. Which signal will you send tonight?